Nothing says summertime is here better than homegrown tomatoes. I have been growing tomatoes since I was 8 years old. I had my first tomato patch was like 200 plants with my grandma helped me. She was babysitting and we grew them the tomatoes, and that was my first year of earning. My family has been growing tomatoes in this country since probably the early 20th century, and used to we had tomatoes all over this area. Back in the 50s and 60s, this was a tomato growing country, same as apples and everything else. But I have had a tomato field probably, like I said, since I've been 8 years old. Every year I keep saying I ain't going to mess with them because we get disgusted from time to time. But then you have years like this year when you've actually got one of the best looking crops you've had in several years, and it gives you renewed hope in tomatoes, okay? And I sell them at the farmer's market, and my heirlooms are, as far as I'm concerned, the best tasting tomatoes in the world. Of course, I ain't been around the world, but in my world they are, okay? So, and I've been teaching my grandson. My grandson yesterday, he's 9 years old. He picked 168 pints of cherry and chocolate cherry grape tomatoes. So he's getting interested. I'm hoping to have somebody to follow me. My son, he's already got my farm down at Fayetteville established, and he is going to be farming too. So I've got a next generation. I'm looking for my grandchildren to be the next generation after that, okay? And like I said, nothing tastes like summer other than an heirloom tomato. And the new culture we've got now, we've been doing plastic for several years, which saves me lots of labor as far as weed pulling and stuff, and also you can concentrate your watering and stuff on that. Also keeps the disease from getting on the plants as bad, because most of your disease are soil bound, actually come from the soil. Well, of course, in any of the tomato plants, you have a problem with the disease, and like any other thing, it's hard to control, just like this coronavirus here. Sometimes things get away from you, and no matter what you do, you cannot actually fix it. But a lot of the plants, the grafted plants, we're hoping will have a lot of resistance to a lot of the soil-borne diseases we have in this area, and actually be a hardier tomato plant. They will have the same fruit, a bit as I can tell right now. The fruit is just as wonderful as the regular heirlooms. Yeah, the improved version, like I said, we're hoping to find more disease resistance. That means less chemical sprays and stuff to keep the disease down. That is our long-term goal on this project. And to see maybe they even produce more than the regular one. That's our hopes also. More production means more money at the bank, okay? Well, my ideal tomato variety would be heirloom flavor, disease resistant, and the number one, crack resistant. I don't know if that is possible to breed into these heirlooms, but of course if you breed them, they're no longer heirlooms because you've upgraded them. So, but if you can get the heirloom flavor, matter of fact, I've got one tomato variety over here that was actually bred to taste like an heirloom, and I don't know. It's not as good. I'm actually not fond of it. I probably will never grow it again. It's called a Mountain Rogue, but some people like it. Everybody's got their own taste in tomatoes, anything we grow, but more people favor the taste of an heirloom than they will a regular tomato. But also I grow some good regular tomatoes, okay?
How many acres or plants or?
Okay, right now we've got around 4,000 plants in this one field, which that accumulates to just about an acre. I have another field away from here that is my late tomatoes that we'll start picking. probably in 2 weeks, and that is my fall field. It's just about 3,000, so it's a smaller field, which fall to year you don't sell the tomatoes quite as hardy as you do in the summertime, but they'll still sell. Yes, I would like to plant less if I didn't have to throw away. Most of my heirlooms, when it's all said and done, I'm probably throwing away approximately 30 to 35% of them, and that's on a good time. Now, if we have a lot of rain, we're looking at maybe throwing away 60% of them. And so you really got to have, that's what I was talking about, crack resistant, because without that, you don't, anytime the weather bothers you like the rain they're talking about now, that's why we're picking the day, is because we're picking the day early because of the rain that's supposed to be here. So, and any rain on a heirloom is not good. As a matter of fact, most of the people that grow them for a living are actually putting them in high tunnels now, so they do not have to deal with that. I just don't like the taste of a tomato out of a high tunnel. I've had I grew them in a high tunnel 2 years, and if you can't get an heirloom that tastes like an heirloom out of the high tunnel, I don't want to deal with it. See, I like to eat too, so. This year is the first year I've had Cherokee Purple, Marboni, Marbone, Margold. My general mainstay in heirloom tomatoes is Brandywine and Cherokee Purple. That's generally my two top producers, top sellers, and they're good, okay? But this year we're trying these new ones. I'm impressed with the striped German. I like the looks of it. It's a beautiful tomato. I have not eaten one yet, but I will, I'm sure, sooner or later. And the production right now is crazy, out of this world. I don't know how everybody else is, but I know how I am right now, okay? We got more tomatoes than I've probably ever had on heirlooms right now. So, and I've grew a lot of them. Well, the one that, like I said, the one we got that's supposed to be bred to be an heirloom, or a flavor as an heirloom, it still has the crack problem. It's still, and you know, and that's what I thought they would have took out of it. It has a stronger tomato flavor and a bit of a wing to it instead of the sweetness that a lot of your heirlooms have. And but like I said, it's good on a sandwich and stuff like that. It's just that they're also, it's hard to sell them because they're not an heirloom. Okay, you can't say they're an heirloom when they're not an heirloom, and they still look like an heirloom. Okay, so if it had a better flavor, better taste and stuff like that, I wouldn't worry about it. I would tell them these are a new improved heirloom tasting tomato, but I can't even say that. Okay.
Is that one ours or the Mountain Road?
That's a Mountain Road.
So,
The only one in this bunch that I'm not sure of, the new heirlooms that I haven't got a real good feeling for, I think it's the Marbone that has the brown tint to it instead of the reddish or the purple. I've ate some of them and I don't know.
Is that the one that was supposed to be comparable to Cherokee Purple?
No, that is, well, let's see. Maybe it is the Marbone, but one of the Mars is a brownish looking tomato. And I had never even seen them before, so I didn't know what it was.
yeah, that would be supposed to be like Cherokee Purple.
They've got, now that's good. I mean, that and the Margold is just like a striped German. They're just basically the same as a striped German. And I told him, I said, I got some yellow tomatoes over here. Oh, you ain't supposed to have. And we got to looking at them. They was yellow, but when we turned them over, they had the red on the bottom. So they, like a striped German. The heirloom and the grafted ones are pretty well neck and neck as far as any disease that's bothering them. Like, it's hard to believe these things are in production 2 weeks, but I mean, well, just a little over a week, and you can't see the tomatoes, which is a good thing when this time of year. Where my field tomatoes down there that's 2 weeks ahead of these, they're starting to show the effects of production, and they're starting to turn brownish and what have you, where these ain't.